most insane football moments you've ever experienced. Sports Interactive regret to inform you that we have made the difficult decision to cancel Football Manager 25. Once beat Besiktas 11-0 with Dundee in my second season. Won the Scottish Championship and the Scottish Cup the year before to get me into the Europa League. Obviously, you were already cooking, and that is an amazing result. And clearly, honestly don't know if I've ever beaten anybody 11-0 on Football Manager. But the best part about this is the fact that I can see you celebrating in the reflection of the picture. Hell yeah, man. Owner trying to convince me they're investing when they're really just paying themselves. To determine the insanity, we need some forensic accounting. They've deposited a total of £366 million into a reserve investment fund. I didn't even know that was a feature in the game. That's what? They believe the current financial position allows the club to make investments such as this and hope this will benefit the club in the long term. But then, as they highlight down in the bottom corner here, amount of dividends paid out to the owners of the club. £365.5 million. That's a suspiciously close amount of money that's been downloaded there. I'm getting some real Glazer vibes from that. I played Virgil van Dijk up top for a season with broken set pieces, so that fancy set piece trick. Then he almost broke Messi's record for the most goals in a calendar year. 51? I mean, I'm looking at 77, 84, 85. That's 85 goals in one season. He's only 6 off. If we're counting friendlies, he breaks it. I'm just saying, we might need to investigate. I said I have never seen this before, and never is spelled correctly. That is how you spell it. If you're English second language, you're welcome. Weird word. See, the funny thing is, I pretty much know what's going to happen. There it is. Yeah. See, there is a feature in Football Manager where you can bribe the other team's goalkeeper, and that is what has happened to you. 4 FMs ago, I was in Norway, made a perfect first half of the season, but everything changed. When the second half attacked, or started, I guess, only 1 or 2 wins. Still became champion by +1 goal on the final day. I don't even know how that happens. Like, I've heard of second half of the season slumps, but to have a perfect half of the season and then only win 1 or 2 games in the second half, hey, a league championship is a league championship, even if you play the whole second half of the season with your reserves. I was Dumbarton. I see. Dumbarton scores in the 56th minute, the 76th minute, and the 92nd minute, followed by Queen of the South taking revenge for all of that cold weather from Queen of the North, I would assume, scoring in the 93rd, the 95th, and the 96th. This is when you uninstall the game. Here we have a cup final where a player has had 4 goals disallowed in 14 minutes. 14! 40 minutos. This moment always sticks out when asked. Think it's FM22, an epic Premier League relegation 6-pointer. So relegation on the line. I wonder who you are, Norwich or Slough Town? Could be either one of them in the Prem, honestly, either or. So we had one of these sad ones earlier, but this, dude, I have never had a comeback this amazing. I can already see what's happening here. 9th minute goal for Norwich. Equalized by Zerzo Huarte in the 51st. Norwich then goes behind in the 59th, and then scores in the 82nd and 89th to take a 3-2 lead. At which point Slough Town scores in the 91st minute and the 93rd minute in order to take a 4-3 lead. But then Olivier Ncham, classic English signing, Olivier Ncham, equalizes 4-4. And then Lewis Lumsden scores in the 96th to win it 5-4 for Slough Town. Hot damn! Hot damn! Last minute winner with a Rabona assist in the last game of the season to break the championship points record. So here's the table. Blackburn with 107 points in the championship, and this is the goal that gets them there. Off on the side. I love that the Rabona's in the game. I really do. We need more fancy stuff like that whenever Football Manager comes out in like 2030. We need more. I was Hungerford Town. 3 red cards and I still managed to score 5. Yeah, well, you still managed to lose 2, son. But seriously, 3 goals after you are down 3 players is ridiculous. What was your formation? I mean, you're down to 7 outfield players at that point. You can't even play a 4-4. Forget the 2. 3 Liga level players scoring this banger in a Champions League final that we went on to win. Well, I don't think it's a 3 Liga level player if they're scoring a banger in a Champions League final, but I'll indulge you. And I'll mainly indulge you because that's a banger. Despite hammering breast on the final day, LOL. PSG got a 90th minute Rodrigo winner to deny Hav their first Ligue 1 title ever. I remember being sat at my desk with my head in my hands for about 45 minutes after. A 5-0 win, hammering Brest, as we've discussed, and then PSG in the 90th scoring a goal to win the league. I'm not gonna lie to you, this hurts. It hurts real bad. But the moment that Football Manager really gets its hooks in you is when you pursue a story like this. When you take it right on the chin and then you give it right back. You come back the next year, you get 100 points, and PSG can't do a damn thing. Are you with me? Sorry, I got a little excited. Probably gonna get a noise complaint here. First year in the Champions League. First game at home with my hometown club. To this day, I don't know how he did this, but after the match, I gave a 5-minute speech to my team about how proud I was about the performance. That is pure Football Manager, baby. So your first time in the Champions League. Everybody knows if you played Football Manager, right when you get into the Champions League the first time, it is terrifying, unless you're like a Premier League club or something. And then you're playing Real Madrid. And even though you take an early lead, you go down 2-1, you give up 4.4 XG, you get a red card in the 55th minute, and somehow, some way, you score a goal to equalize, even on the night with Real Madrid. And I would say deserved, based off Football Manager logic, certainly. I made 3 promises to Rashford when he was playing at United: to secure his future at the club, extend his contract, and eventually sell him at the end of the season. Now I'm really confused what to do. Okay, here's what you do. Secure his future at the club by extending his contract, but then sell him on a loan to buy at the end of the season. I think that would actually work in the game's code. I'm not sure. New owner of my Everton save bought Gay and Olise for me in the winter transfer window without using any of the board's transfer budget. Why can't I get these owners? I want that owner. My owners reject improving facilities when I have 5 times the money. I want that one. Goalkeeper scored a 98th minute equalizer in the FA Cup final. Went on to win it in extra time. Oh, hell yeah. And it wasn't even like close extra time. It's Lucas Chevalier in the 90+8. And then a nice Sandro Tonali. You can bet your bottom dollar that shot went in. Just kidding. I'm glad he's not gambling anymore. Good for him. I was Everton. Thought it was over after the first leg, then we went out and did this. Champions League semi-final. Oh, can you imagine a Merseyside Champions League semi-final? Oh, and then you're down 2-0 and you turn it around at home. Not to mention down 2-0, down 3-0 after an early goal from Federico Chiesa. This is like dreamland. Actual dreamland stuff. I can understand you never forgetting about this in your Football Manager life, ever. Won the Champions League with Eglinton FC after 36 years in charge. Took them from an amateur side in the 10th tier of Scottish football to the very top, beating Arsenal 4-1 in the final. Third time lucky after losing 2 Champions League finals already. This, to me, is what Football Manager's all about. They're the people that really just suffer it out for an incredibly longer than they ever should have to. The game's not even designed for players bad enough to qualify as 6th or 10th division Scottish players to even be in the game. So you spend years of this kind of boring process of building a team up on free contracts and do it again and do it again and do it again. And then finally you get to the Champions League final and you lose. And then you get there again and then you lose. And then you win 4-1 against Arsenal. Hell yeah, brother. League 2 playoffs straight after National League promotion. First choice goalkeeper gets injured before them. Bring in sub goalkeeper Luca Ashby Hammond, early 20s. Made costly mistakes in both legs. Uh-oh, where's this going? Kept him in contract for the rest of his life, making sure he never played professionally for anyone ever again. Bro, locked him in the basement and kept him hostage. I have heard of a lot of ways to punish players, but locking them in your reserves eternally, that is certainly a way. Liverpool save a while back, one of the talents from the youth intake. See, here's the thing. This guy is a star player in League 1 and can totally hold his own on the field in the championship straight out of a youth intake. And that makes me explosively angry because I want to get one of these guys one time. Although apparently his potential isn't even actually that good, which is hilarious. You run into these guys sometimes, their current ability is so high, but I don't think this guy's ever going to be a star in the Prem. Look at that. You thought you could sneak that in there? Still the craziest goal I've seen someone on a team I was managing score. All right, eyes are peeled. I say, oh, heavens. 0 XG difference, perfectly balanced as things should be. Oh, the XG of both teams lines up perfectly.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
That's really oddly therapeutic. I can stare at this is bringing me a nice sense of peace and calm. The first time it's ever been right. Club World Cup quarterfinal against Real Madrid. I went through every emotion possible in this one. Okay, I've simmed a lot of Football Manager matches and I've seen some long penalty shootouts. Can you imagine having one of your teams in a cup quarterfinal go to 14 shots? This could have ended 10 times, and every single time you got the result that it didn't end until the last one. The first 3 takers had to go again. 3! In a recent save of mine, Ansu Fati became the world's most expensive player at 240 million pounds. And I am checking the visual style here. This is on FM24, I think. You know, Football Manager never gives up hope. That's important. Danish League save with my friend. He gets scored on with an own goal 20 seconds in, and huge shout out to the filming here, which is done caveman style. We are filming a screen vertically that is also tilted sideways. You gotta tilt your head, but that's nasty work. In an online league, the game just hates you. I got no other way to say it. This match, in a UCL final, it's Napoli as Parthenope against Everton. Score early, then concede 3 goals, and then score 3 goals in the last 15 minutes to win the Champions League. Bro, I mean, it was deserved. Looking at the XG, I hope you were on the winning side of this. You never forget that. Mark O'Hara in extra time to win me the Champions League as Celtic against PSG. That was in 2016. I still remember it. 112th minute, Mark O'Hara. It's like, these never leave you. My last home loss was 12 seasons ago as Botev Plovdiv make it an astonishing 150 matches since their last defeat at Hristo Botev. Do you think you'll ever lose a home game again? You need therapy and an award. Somebody should give you an award. You deserve an award. I'll give you the award. I haven't even read the thing. I'm just looking at how many disallowed goals there were. And there's 2 right next to each other in extra time before the same guy scores 4 goals in the final 15 minutes to just turn it into a blowout. So this is tier 10 with United Services Portsmouth, which explains why I'm not quite clocking the teams at U-Sport here. A 4-0 after extra time and 5 disallowed goals. A 2-3 away win with the Faroe Islands against Italy. Yes, brother. Yes. In a decisive European qualifiers match. I think the image speaks for itself. Well, we've got you down 2-0, or sorry, down 2-1, and they missed a penalty. Oh, 91st and 95th to win with the Faroe Islands in Italy. I can't. That's unreal. I mean, that'd be one of my proudest moments in Football Manager. They say it was a decisive qualifier match too. Maybe this sends them to the Euros in the 95th minute. Magic. From FM23, but a 5-goal turnaround was pretty spectacular. I don't know if I've ever seen a bigger one. I mean, they're down 5-0 in 30 minutes and then scores 6 goals after that to win. I mean, at the point, like, honestly, if you're looking at the XG of 4.42, you probably had some in the first 30 minutes, right? There's no way you just exploded onto the scene that effectively after the first 30 minutes. So you're sitting there wondering how the hell you're losing 5-0, and then all of a sudden, you had a disallowed goal in here too. Siadmanesh character was on fire. I was legitimately cursed in this one save. Failed to win the Champions League for 8 years despite being dominant in both the Prem and Serie A. These 2 were the highlights. Damn. Well, I know you're Manchester United on this one, but losing a Manchester derby that you so deserved to win even when you were down 2-0. And you scored in the 97th minute, bro. I don't even understand what happened here. You scored in the 97th minute, like 90+7, then they scored in the 91st, which is extra time, to level it at 3? What's going on? You didn't just get screwed, you got screwed by the rules of the sport. Then there's this one where I'm assuming you were Inter, and then they scored in the 92nd. Oh, is that Chevalier? No, we've got a second Lucas Chevalier goal. Please tell me you continued this save until you actually won the Champions League. There's no way you gave that up. FM Touch missed out on Champions League by 1 point. Up 2-0 with goals in the 80th and 87th after Sambi Lakonga was sent off in the 79th. Crystal Palace had Jean-Philippe Mateta score not 1, but 2 goals to knock you out of a Champions League spot. I mean, obviously that is an all-time fumble, but this unlocks some core Zealand lore here. One of my greatest bottles before I ever made content around Football Manager at all, or content of any kind. I was sitting in my senior dorm room in college, and in the final 5 matches of the season with West Ham, I went from Champions League to out of Europe. And at the end of the final match, I punted my trash can across the room, prompting my girlfriend to be concerned about my mental well-being. And that, my friends, is when Football Manager had me hooked. So when this person says I almost broke my phone, you probably should have broken it. You would have felt better. But those are some insane Football Manager moments. If you want to watch the best Football Manager goals of the past year, you can check that video out. We hand out the FM Puskas Award every year. And honestly, that back heel from earlier in this video, that's going to be up there. If they resubmit that for the FM Puskas, that's going to be up there. It deserves consideration.